if someone was talking about BIAN, I'm just kind of lost. What is this BIAN all about? Why are organizations, particularly the banking organizations, are looking at BIAN? And it's been a journey. So if you can just run this us to um, what we are talking about, that will help us to make things easy, right? So before I start, I'll just see we have Oyo from Nigeria as well. So keep coming in and post your questions as we go through it, as then we'll explain on that. So I'll just kind of open up the first one and ask Nish or Mamta to get started off on BIAN. Yeah.
Yep, I can start, and Nish, you can just add on to it.
Go for it.
Suresh, as you started, what BIAN stands for is Banking Industry Architecture Network. The word itself has a network in it, so I think that should give us an indication. The intention of BIAN had always been to come up with a reference architecture for banking industry, and not come up with a reference architecture from a proprietary point of view, which does exist in the industry, but come up from a network, which is it's something which is developed by the practitioners for the industry, and it is not for profit organization. It's the intention is for the whole of industry to benefit of having a reference architecture. The intention is to give the content that is required. You can find many reference architecture in different industries, to be very frank, but something which is very specific to banking is what BIAN is trying to do. I recently just came out of talking to a really big bank here locally in Australia, and we were having this conversation, say, like, there is domain-driven architecture, there is so many different architecture practices and principles and thinking. How is BIAN different? And the main thing which I find why BIAN is different is it gives you the content which is required for banking industry to go and then end up creating their own architecture. All other frameworks will give you methodology, will give you framework, but what BIAN gives you is the content which is required. So if you look at it, covers the whole of industries, banking industry's functional components. So if you look at it, they have already defined around 327 different functions that a bank needs to have. And you go to any bank, these functions will still remain the same. They will not change. Adding to that function, what they have also gone ahead and said is that if these functions needs to communicate with each other, these are the service operations that these functions needs to have, which could be very easily translated into your integration API. So in a way, what BIAN has gone ahead and done is given you a set of functions and given you how these functions will integrate with each other. Only thing that we have to do is design them in a way that it can be built in the organization itself. So it is a very easy path to implementation, which no other framework actually gives to the industry. So I have talked a lot about it, but then I think that's probably covers what BIAN is and what it provides.